Welcome to Toolbox with the 10% rule, also called the 10% reserve rule. And that is a rule that's very relevant because when you're studying, it's a very mental taxing activity, and that's very much underestimated. The brain is known to use so much sugar and glucose just because it has so much activity to do, so much brain work to do. So, and it's very taxing. Studying itself, it can be tiring, mental, exhausting activity. So therefore, this rule of the 10%. So how does it work? The thing is that with most study methods, they focus on the start and the middle, but very rarely on the end, on the finished part. And the finished part is so relevant because it can help you to continue the next cycle when you study again. And it's very much up looking at your life as a bunch of batteries. And some of these batteries are representing, let's say, your mental state, your emotional state, your psychological state, your physical state. And these batteries have different, let's say, volumes. I mean, they're charged in a different way. Also when you're studying. So, because look, at the end of the day, these batteries get drained and you have like a downwards curve, downwards cycle. And that's going to be very relevant when you're studying. So often when we study, for example, we tend to study with 100% like energy to study a part of the course. Imagine you have a 3-hour study session, a 3-hour cycle planned out. We start with 100% and then we go down to zero or even below zero. And there is some risk with that, by that approach. Is if you study till exhaustion, so to speak, you will get mentally exhausted. You kind of boredom pops up. You get a bit fed up. There's some frustration there. And restarting the next study cycle is going to be much, much harder. So therefore, there's a better way of doing that. And that is by, instead of draining your battery, is to stop at about 10% reserve and take a break. It is about measuring where you are and stop on time. And there's a certain advantage because of that. So the fact that your battery is not completely emptied, you leave some energy in the tank, so to speak. And the big advantage is that you have a much faster recovery during your breaks. And it's much more easier to restart your next study cycle. And look, it is going to be much more fun because you end up studying when you still have a desire and you still have energy to continue, but you stop just on time. And that difference, the 10% difference, is huge and it's massive. So how to apply it? Very straightforward. Roughly after each hour you study, you ask yourself a kind of awareness moment. So how much energy do you still have left to study? And if you had 50%, let's say after 1 hour, fine, you continue. But if you say you've done already 2 hours and you go towards the 3 hours and about like 2 hours, 40 minutes down, you realize, oh, look, I'm reaching now the 10%. Then is the moment to take a break. Now, I would really recommend also to combine it with the so-called cross-country study technique. A video on that, also I call it langlauf, and it's a brilliant technique if you deal with difficult courses, tough courses, because then again it's about keeping that energy level high. But also it's very useful to use with the Pomodoro technique. I use the 55-5 split, so 55 minutes studying and 5 minutes break, because that's a good moment to reflect, okay, where are you in your energy level? So it's a brilliant way to study that way, because you restart each time with energy and you finish with energy. So you can also apply it with sleep, and a lot of people underestimate that. So during the day you wake up, you have your energy recharged, and people use their energy to the very end, to zero, and they go below zero, and they might watch a movie, they want to stay busy the whole day. But the fact that you go to zero and below zero, you drain your battery, so to speak. You get much more tired, and you sleep lesser well, and the next day you don't recover so well. So even if you apply to sleep or studying, it's a brilliant way to do that. So what you do is, by the end of the day, if you have some 5 or 10% energy left, and you could say, oh, look, I could stay awake for another hour. Don't do that. Go to sleep and use that time, the 10%, to recover faster. And that's the whole trick about it. So the 10% rule, the 10% reserve rule, is very much about never go to zero, never go below zero, and stay at 10% of the positive. So for studying, it's such a nice method to apply. It's so easy, it's helpful, it keeps you motivated, keeps you interested, keeps you on track. It keeps you charged, and you cover so much faster. So try it out. Let me know in the comments how it's going, and good luck with this method because it's an awesome method. See you later for more.